Okay, so let's go over these sentences now. We're going to find the direct and the indirect objects and replace them with indirect object pronouns. We're going to write them two ways if possible. How are we going to know if there are two ways if possible? That is a simple question to answer. You need to remember two verbs, two ways to write it. So first thing we always want to do is find the verb. Here we go. Mi abuela compró fresas a sus nietos. Verb, compró. Just one. What did she compró? Fresas. For whom? A sus nietos. So fresas is the direct object. A sus nietos is the indirect object. Let's start replacing. What are we going to replace fresas with? That is feminine plural. Las. What are we going to replace a sus nietos with? Les, but we know the rule, so it has to go to se. One verb, one way. Has to go in front. Mi abuela se las compró. And if I stop there, you would have no idea for whom she bought what. So I need to repeat a sus nietos. Next one. Ryan quiere leer un libro a Ben y Drew. Verb, in this case, verbs. Quiere leer, two verbs, two ways, two verbs, two ways. Ryan quiere leer. What does he want to read? Un libro. To whom? A Ben y Drew. So, we're going to replace un libro with lo. We're going to replace Ben and Drew with les, but then it has to go to se because of the rule. Two verbs, two ways, in front first. Ryan se lo quiere leer a Ben y Drew. Leer. Start thinking about the natural stress there. Ryan quiere leérselo. Attached. Where's that stress going to go? A Ben y Drew. So, Bill Gates and autocorrect did it for me. I need to count back 3. 1, 2, and 3. It's on the E. Raquel está leyendo el menú a ti porque no tienes tus gafas. I see lots of words here. First thing I have to do is find the verb or verbs. 2. Está leyendo. This is the present progressive. 2 verbs. Counts as 2 verbs. What is she reading? El menú. To whom? A ti. The rest of the sentence just gives us more information, but we're not going to worry about any pronouns in that part of the sentence. So, we're going to replace el menú with lo, a ti with te. Don't have to worry about changing te to anything. 2 verbs, 2 ways. Raquel te lo está leyendo porque no tienes tus gafas. 2 verbs, 2 ways. Now you have to attach it. Leyendo, leyendo. Where's that natural stress? Raquel está leyéndotelo porque no tienes tus gafas. Leyendo. So the stress was on the second E, and then you have to count back 4. And I know that your brains don't like the way this looks because this looks like a crazy long word, but it is accurate. That is grammatically correct. Compraste sopa de pollo a mí cuando estaba enferma. Compraste. That is the subject and the verb. Tú compraste. Remember in Spanish I don't have to have the tú. Tú compraste. One verb. What did you buy? Sopa de pollo. All of this is the direct object. For whom? A mí. Cuando estaba enferma. So, sopa de pollo, feminine. For whom? For me. Cuando estaba enferma. 2 verbs, 2 ways. One verb. Me la compraste. Cuando estaba enferma. 1 verb, 1 way. El padre estaba haciendo galletas para sus hijos. Estaba haciendo, two verbs, two ways, two verbs, two ways. What was he making? Galletas. For whom? Para sus hijos. So we're going to replace galletas with las, para sus hijos with les, and then we remember it has to go to se. Two verbs, two ways, two verbs, two ways. El padre se las estaba haciendo a sus hijos. El padre estaba haciéndoselas a sus hijos. 1, 2, 3, 4. Count back 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Goes on the vowel before the letter N. Let me drive a point home for you guys. Even in English, I cannot say to anybody and expect them to understand, my dad prepared her it. Why? You know my dad and you know prepared. But who is her? And what is it? You can't use pronouns with people if we don't know what you're talking about. So if I had said, my dad prepared chili for my sister, then you know that the it is chili and her is my sister. So Spanish, mi padre se lo preparó. The only thing I know here is that lo is something masculine. And se, I have no idea who it is. So remember that Spanish says that se le has to be repeated with a mi hermana in my sentence here. We still don't know what the lo is, but we're a little bit closer to figuring it out. So when you're writing, you can't use these object pronouns unless you give people an antecedent and we know what you're saying.